Is Alex going to be or is more popular than Akuma? This is the question I'm asking today in this video. Reason being is because the amount of love that I've seen Alex get is something I haven't seen in a very long time. At least in Street Fighter that I can think of, or just in general. Like I have a blank right now. Maybe I can think of something later, but right now I can't really see anything. Like if you compare Alex to Akuma, right? Like looking at Akuma, like what they gave him. New theme, obviously a stage or whatever, right? Let's see here. Obviously, Raging Game, that's just a staple, right? And he can go into Shin Akuma if you let him, if he eats the rice ball. And there's a boss fight for him for like it was a limited period of time. They sometimes return it every now and then. That's kind of what they gave Akuma. Now looking at Alex, for an example, Alex has two themes. One of them is a jam project theme, so that costs them some money to do that for sure. They're showing a lot of his mocap work with Kenny Omega, so Kenny Omega worked on this character specifically. So this is pretty much just Kenny Omega in the game. Speaking of Kenny Omega, we have also his one-winged angel move in the game. The trailer is probably the most anticipated. I feel as if it's not the most anticipated. I feel as if Akuma was more anticipated, but however, I think it's probably the most popular. Like this is their best trailer they've shown in Street Fighter 6. Some argue Ed, because Ed is like, oh, we work for most people because most people didn't like him except for me, because I always love him. But it made people like Ed, so you could say Ed's technically too. But I think this one, like when it comes to the hype factor, I think Alex kind of takes this in a sense. Like, is it the most viewed Street Fighter video? I don't think so, only because they brought back a character like Bison. So I think technically out of the trails, I think Bison probably has the most popular one, because like, oh, we thought he wasn't going to return. Like, dude, it's a fighting game. He's going to come back. So it's like, yeah. Some people didn't expect that, but so I think he's like probably the top one technically in a sense, and then a little bit after that you have Jamie and some other people, then I think Akuma, so it's like there. But I feel as if just how they showed the trailer, especially even at the end of the trailer, there's like, oh wait, there's more, and then he does a finisher just like Akuma's trailer, so I was like, dude, this character has a huge amount of love with making him, like, just this is ginormous. Now I just want to say this too, I'm not saying the other trailers are bad. Like for example, I could have said like the Terry trailer and my trailer, but I think those were just good trailers. They weren't really, in a sense, like they were special, but in the sense like this is a crossover character, like, oh, we're gonna give them love. They gave them love, but is it to the extent of Akuma and Alex? I don't think that is the case in my opinion. And there's other characters that got a little bit of love, just a tiny bit. You could say technically Atlanta, because she also had like a thing after her trailer too when she healed. But that's not like a super hype thing. That's like, oh, she can heal in the game. I didn't know whether they're gonna add that or not, but it was like an unsure thing, relatively. But these other two, no. And you could tell with the music and how everything was looking with the other two, like, no, there's just a clear gap here. Now, if you agreed that he is going to maybe potentially be equal to Akuma, then if that is the case, then you have to acknowledge this factoid, or if you're just close, that more than likely Alex will probably be a DLC character for the rest of his lifespan. I think Street Fighter 7 DLC, Street Fighter 8 DLC. I think more than likely that will be the case. There might be some instances, say for instance it's like a crossover game, you're like, oh yeah, he's here, why would he not be here, something like that. But I feel as if for the most part, like how they do Akuma, because like you gonna buy Akuma, it doesn't matter. It's like base roster, oh yeah, that's great. But if he's DLC, I'm still gonna buy him. Like, man, I don't like him, but yeah, you're gonna open your wallet, so be quiet. That's essentially what's gonna happen. I feel as if, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying be quiet. I mean, that's how I feel like how they get your money. Like, oh yeah, DLC character, I'm buying them immediately. So I think that's going to be the case. Because if you think of it like this too, even the comparison with Akuma, you could say Armor King is actually more of like a thing where it's like, okay, you can compare these two in a sense like they're equals, because if you think about it, Armor King, realistically speaking, before Tekken 7, he was just cool. Like, yeah, he's cool. Alright, we saw that Tekken 7 trailer, like everybody bought him. Most sold character in Tekken 7. He wasn't the most used now. I think people used him and they're like, man, he's kind of hard. Then they gave up on him. Tekken 8, opposite, he was a lot easier, so everybody used him, and probably still the most sold character. Maybe Hachi, depending, because returning, but I don't know. But I feel as if this is the case with Alex, because he is a heel just like Armor King. He's a wrestler just like Armor King, so it's kind of the same blueprint in a way, you know what I'm saying, of like popularity. So I think he will be the Armor King of Street Fighter. Because before, like I mentioned this before, Alex was not this popular. People hated him. Like, oh, he's the new main character. I hate this guy. He's a clown. They were roasting him at Third Strike. 5, They warned him like, oh yeah, Alex back, okay, cool, that's cool, you know, that's all right. I feel as if people liked him a bit more. And then 6, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been waiting for days. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, maybe it is that people that actually did play him in 5, but to me, it feels like it feels random. I don't know. It just doesn't feel real. But maybe I just didn't notice it or something. But yeah, but I definitely think though he does have potential probably to be the most popular character in Street Fighter, because dude, the amount of just time they showed with him. It's nothing we've seen, but we have not seen this before. Like, legitimately, we have not seen this before. Like, even when Makoto or Sakura or other characters like that get in the game, they are not gonna get this much love. I promise you, they're not. Like, the effort, what they did with this, I don't think that'll be the case. And I could be wrong in the future. Maybe they go a little bonkers or whatever. But 2 themes, Kenny Omega, the bloopers, and all this other stuff, I don't see that being the case. And also, this is something I do want to mention. Speaking of the gameplay I did mention with Armor King in Tekken 7, I'm wondering if a lot of people are actually going to use him. Like, I feel as if a lot of people initially are, but they're going to realize, like, man, this guy is kind of hard. And the reason being is because he's a stance character now. Now, him being a charge character, honestly, I was cool with that. I actually like this, so I'm kind of a little mad that he's not. To be honest with you, I'm a little torn about that. Okay, maybe more than a little torn, but I understand why they're doing it, because to make him easy to use for other players. Like, oh yeah, since he's not a charge character, it's a lot easier for you to use, so everybody can use him now. All you gotta do is just press a few buttons and go to a stance, and then you have all your moves, you know? And in a sense, I get what they're saying, and it's probably going to be easy to a certain degree for players just to input, but I feel as if he's probably going to be a hard character, more than likely, because of the tools he has and how you're supposed to use him, because we don't know fully how to. But I think the approach that they might take with Alex is they might go the Akuma route, and like how Akuma is easy to use, but he can be difficult, like, through, like, gameplay reasons. Like, sure, Fireball is easy to do, sure, you can Tatsu and all that stuff, but how you implement them during the fight is how you make him good, you know what I'm saying? I think that will be the hard part. So how are you going to do it with Alex, if that makes sense? 'Cause I feel as if maybe some people might agree with this statement, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Akuma is just doo-doo but easy or something like that, but I feel as if he could be hard in instances, and I think that's what they're going to go for with Alex, per se, is that he'll be like, yeah, you can do all this stuff easily, but you have a lot of tools. How are you going to use them during the fight? When are they going to be useful? Like, is the flying DDT going to be really that useful, or am I just going to hit you with a crouching heavy punch and do confirm it to level 3 or something? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel as if that's probably going to happen to most people. They're just going to throw that move out. So when do you use them and stuff like that? Because you have all these things, and since some of them I think are taken out, like I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure you can do flash top out of the stance more than likely, but like I think Lariat is in the stance, so it's like, okay, how am I going to incorporate this in the right moment in time? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think about it. Like, okay, I have all these things. How do I use them relatively in the match? So that's going to be the difficult part about him, which that's going to be the learning curve for sure. For most people, it's like when to use these tools. But I could be wrong, and maybe he's just doo-doo but easy and like doesn't take any real skill, and he's just the best character. But I feel as if he might be harder, and it might be considered bad because of that, because of all the tools that he has and how he needs to use them. But who knows? We might get a mechanic, just like a new system mechanic, that might just help him out altogether and just ignore his faults or something like that. Because I really do hope we get a new mechanic when he comes out. But who knows what about that? But yeah. But besides that, I can also mention story. His story before was pretty okay, relatively. Now he's just more on the wrestling side. But they still could add to the thing, like, yeah, he does fight a Gil eventually. And I feel as if, since the added factor that people like him and he's a wrestler and he's a heel, people like him even more for if he does beat Gil. Like, generally, his stocks will go up higher. Like, oh yeah, this my GOAT beat Gil. That's going to be the incentive now. It's going to be the incentive. So, yeah. But I think that's relatively it. What I want to talk about. Hopefully, I didn't miss anything in my head. But yeah. Either way, in the comment section down below, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think he potentially has the potential to be more popular than Alex? Or not Alex, but Akuma? Or do you think he's just like an average, like, oh yeah, he's a cool character, not that popular? Or do you think he's like close to Akuma? Like, what's your thoughts down below in the comment section? And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, a great night, a great noon, or whatever time zone you guys are at, man. And I'll see you guys in the next video.